Dr. Beebe Show. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm having a wonderful life, and it got just a little bit better because you and I have a great conversation for my audience. You're with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and you're going to be here. Let's talk about medical breakthroughs extending life expectancy. First of all, my question is, why is the chamber telling us this important topic? And tell me about extending life expectancy.
Well, so the reason the Chamber is telling you about the full value of medical innovation is because in the United States, the private sector drives medical innovation through R&D, through investing in new treatments and cures. And this is an amazing success story. What this new study found is that over a 30-year time period, when we factor in medical investment in HIV, breast cancer, obesity, and cardiovascular, we've generated $167 trillion in societal value. What this means in practice is that when you treat Americans and you help them mitigate these disease states, they are living longer, they're more productive, they're paying more taxes, they're spending less on health care, and they're not having to have family members leave the workforce to care for them. Not to mention, for most Americans, their health is their most important asset. So when we support the private sector and have the right policies in place that drive this innovation, we not only have an economic success story, we have a human success story.
Your report, did it talk about why healthier Americans strengthen their workforce and remain active longer in their careers and their community?
Absolutely. So when somebody is sick with a debilitating disease, many times they have to leave the workforce. They're not as productive and they're not living as long, right? They're not getting the full benefit of this beautiful thing we call life. And if you look at the medical innovation in these disease states, you can see for each disease, people are living longer and they are healthier. Take, for example, HIV. HIV was a death sentence 30 years ago. Now people are living 40 years longer on average, 40 years, 4 decades of life. Breast cancer is another great example. There's a statistic in this report that shows that from 1989 to 2025, there was a 44% decline in the mortality rate for people diagnosed with breast cancer. These are mothers, sisters, friends who are having a massive decline in their mortality rate because of medical innovation. And again, when people are living longer, when they're healthier, when they're working longer, it's not just dollars and cents. These are real people in real lives who are getting the fullness of life.
The study found that breakthroughs in treatment of HIV, heart disease, breast cancer, obesity, I'm going to call those the top ones at this time. It shows that those breakthroughs in R&D, and there was a great investment and a societal return. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. It costs billions of dollars to develop a new treatment or cure, and that is borne almost exclusively by the private sector. And not to mention, most treatments and cures never make it to market. They never make it past clinical trials. So what happens is you have companies investing billions of dollars to develop that treatment or cure, and we have to have the right policies and procedures in place to reward that investment. But what this study found is that when we do invest in medical innovation, we get a 27-to-1 return on investment by virtue of people living longer, being healthier, being more productive, and having a more fulsome life experience. What we're concerned about at the Chamber, though, are policies in Washington, D.C. that could undermine this success story, whether it's weakening intellectual property rights or importing foreign price controls. These are failed policies that will undermine this uniquely American success story.
I want my audience to know that Brad Watts is Senior VP of Global Innovation Policy Center at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Brad, so the U.S. Chamber of Commerce has taken the stance of protecting innovation. It's key to the future. Is that what you guys are telling us?
Absolutely. We want to protect the innovative ecosystem that has allowed the United States to be the world leader in medical innovation. What we don't want to see is us to adopt approaches that have failed in other countries. In countries that have undermined market-based systems, that have imposed price controls, 2 things have happened. Number 1, either those patients don't get access at all to the latest treatments and cures, or number 2, Even if they do, they can wait up to 600 days for a new medicine. And as anyone who's cared for a family member or loved one suffering from a debilitating disease knows, a 600-day wait could be a death sentence.
I'm going to take this from my audience that is on Instagram. The poster says, you talked about innovations, but the health system itself is not innovative. There's long delays. There's great denials. How do we get past that?
The healthcare system is complex, and the Chamber would not deny that. One of the things we focused on here at the Chamber, separate from innovation policy and opposing price controls, and my colleague Lexi Branson in our Health Policy Center focuses on this, is how we can leverage technology and other market-based systems to improve patient outcomes. The reality is most Americans are happy with their health insurance. Are there problems? Sure. And the Chamber is focused on how do we fix those problems in a way that supports the market system and doesn't undermine the things that are working. Because at the end of the day, our medical innovation system is working. We, as Americans, have access to the latest technologies, treatments, and cures before other people do. And when you ask most Americans what they prefer, they want that access and they want that choice.
Brad, this is a very rich subject. Online, is there any more information from the survey that my audience can delve into?
Absolutely. They can go to uschamber.com/price controls. They can find not only this report, but all of our research about how price controls and anti-free market policies undermine America's medical innovation success story.
Brad, I want to thank you for taking the time to kind of help us to understand this survey. It's something we all need to read because it affects all Americans. I'd like you to have a great day, and thanks for stopping by the Valder Beebe Show with great information as always.
Thank you so much, and take care.
Hi, I'm Valder Beebe, host of the Valder Beebe Show. We have over 1,000 videos on ValderBeebeShow.com and YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show. We upload new videos daily. Our site is a modern baby boomer platform with news and information important to boomers. Subscribe to YouTube.com/ValderBeebe Show and stay connected as I interview the world's most fascinating people.